Hey guys, today we're putting in an air conditioner at a large public building. It's basically like an assisted living slash live close to the hospital building. It's built right onto the hospital, and these large commercial buildings, nursing homes, schools, hospitals, buildings like that are going to have a lot of fire alarms in the building and a fire monitoring system that automatically calls the police or the fire department and police department if you have a fire. So when you're going to be soldering or brazing in a building like that, like today, I need to braze all of these connections on this line here. I don't want to set off the alarms and have to empty all of the residents from this entire place and all the residents from the hospital out into the street. That would be very bad. So what you need to do typically is get a hold of, it's a good idea to let your fire chief in your town know that you're going to be doing some soldering there, that there's potential for a false alarm. But mainly you need to go and call the actual monitoring company. So this particular place, the panel is monitored by a company, and you call them, put the system into test mode, which disables the automatic calling of the fire department and police department. So I've already done that, so this system is going to be disabled for 2 hours, in which that means the alarms will still go off if we accidentally set them off. We'll just have to tell everyone it's a false alarm, but at least it won't automatically call the fire department. So if we do actually have an emergency, we'll have to call it in 911 ourselves, and of course I'll tell the staff that here. So wherever your fire panel is, there should be a marking on the door. In this case, it's in this like utility closet, and you can see it's just a fire alarm 4005 control simplex. And then you just call your company, give them your account number. I think there's a password required as well, and then you tell them what you're going to be doing. You can put the system into test mode then for a couple hours, which is what I did, so that I would have plenty of time to work on what I needed to work on. And then if we did accidentally set the thing off, we would come up here and have to silence the alarm, wait like 10 minutes, and then reset the system. So a lot of complicated stuff looking in there. So the other thing is some good ventilation. I went and let the staff know I'm going to be brazing now, and if the fire alarms go off, it's not necessarily an emergency and to not empty the building. You can see this is part of their fire system. It's all the like water stuff, so it's hooked right into the water supply of the building, and then if you get too much heat and one of these little guys bust, then it'll just locally hose down that area. So I think they don't have any actual sensors in here. Smoke alarms are just like little white discs, usually on the ceiling, and as far as I can tell, there's none in here. So I would, if there was one in here, I would put like a rubber glove over it just to keep any particle, like smoke particles, from getting in there while I'm doing my work. And then of course you have to remove that. That's up to you if you want to do that, because if you forget that on there, you can get in some serious trouble. So I probably wouldn't even really recommend that necessarily, but it's also nice not to scare a whole bunch of people by setting off the alarms unnecessarily. Don't hear any fire alarms, so that's a very good sign. Pull out my mirror and inspect these, because if there's any spot I'm suspicious of, I want to fix it right now. rather than have to tell everyone I'm going to braze again. So I think we're good to go on that. So anyway, it's all about taking extra precautions so you don't cause some kind of panic. Of course, the brazing outside didn't really matter because there's no fire alarms or anything out there, but inside the building, that's where we're concerned. This is the only other part of the fire system I didn't mention here. I guess there could be a couple other things I don't know about, but this is the air compressor that keeps all of the duct dampers open. So this thing has a hose that goes over to there and actually keeps the pressure on all the time. And these things right here, I think it's, well, I don't know if this one's actually a fire damper. This is a damper. But they have dampers in the ductwork then that the fire system keeps open. So as long as there's pressure coming from the air compressor, it'll keep those dampers open. And if there's a fire and they suddenly lose pressure, they'll actually automatically close off. So the way that they get tripped when there is actually a fire, I think it's just the tubing. When it gets hot, it burns off, melts, whatever, it closes them off. There's probably also a couple sensors that have like a solenoid valve that'll suddenly open up and drop the system pressure out, which will close all the dampers, and that helps keep the fire from spreading throughout the building in the ductwork. So anyway, I've got the vacuum pump going on this. I'm gonna finish up this installation, but just thought I'd kind of share what I've figured out for when you're working in a commercial building like this and you don't want everyone to go out on the street because of you. So anyway, hope that you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Also good to make sure you have a fire extinguisher, you know, or two nearby in case you actually do have some kind of fire. But there it is, all good to go. Got it insulated, back down nice, siliconed it so it can't rub. It's gonna be a good system for them, I think.